don't think something's ever been said like the last 7-minute segment here that I agree with more. What are some of the steps to change? How do you do it?
First of all, let's talk about what integrity is. Integrity is doing what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it when no one else is watching. Now, I guarantee you, you all have amazing integrity with everybody else in the world. If you tell your friend you're going to show up tomorrow at noon, Nancy, when do you show up? She says 11:55. Absolutely you do. If you tell them that you're going to go ahead and pick up their kids, you're going to grab, some coffee for their, book club meeting, you're there on time. You do what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it. But I just want to see a show of hands, and we'll have a group of 30 people before they begin their transformation. Show of hands, how many people here said the diet starts Monday? And everyone goes, and you see all the hands go up. How about 2015? It's going to happen this year. Every hand goes up again. How about 2016? Let's try this again. Every single hand. 2017. How about I'm going to wake up at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning and do 30 minutes of cardio? Every hand goes up. So you guys are great at making commitments and keeping those commitments to other people, but you cannot, you can, but you do not keep commitments to yourself. And that's why you're all here. And that's what we're going to change. This is your year to take it all back. This is your year to completely change your life. But in order to do so, you need to honor yourself. You have to make yourself a priority. We are going to teach you how to love yourself enough so that when you do give your word, you will honor that word to yourself. We believe in you. You don't believe in yourself yet, but there's a formula to believing in yourself. And what we're going to do, and every single one of them, they're in such a deep, dark place because the folks that we're working with, they're 400, 500, 600 pounds, they're trying to get out. So we explain, in order for them to get there, and all we see, when we're looking out at this group of 30 people, it's not, I don't see 200 extra pounds of body fat on them. It's 200 pounds of broken promises to themselves.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
You get it.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
And I know you get it because this is the life that you live because it's amazing. This house that you've got, all the homes that you've got, what you've been able to create, it's incredible. It's because you have integrity. You have personal integrity first, and then that translates into your integrity with everybody else.
You just taught me something, just so you know. Huge thing you just taught me. I want to tell you what it was, and I want you to talk about it, or you can talk about it, Heidi. So I actually, probably at one of the roots of my content is how to build self-confidence. And I have consistently said for 25 years that self-confidence is the habit and process of keeping the promises that you make to yourself. You just said something that's a layer deeper than I've said it before. And you said it's got a connection to needing to love yourself in order to do it. So one of the things I've not backed that up with enough, man, I just want you to know, I'm processing that right now, is I've not backed up enough with teaching them the reasons why they haven't. And so is it your conclusion that some of that has to do with not loving themselves enough in order to keep the promise? Is that part of it?
Yeah, well, and it's that they don't believe in themselves enough. Like when you try and fail and try and fail and try and fail so many times, you don't believe you can do it. And it's all connected. The I don't believe I can do it and I don't love myself are directly
They're brother and sister.
So when one of them exists, you're gonna not even try at some point. Or if you say something, you're like, hey, I'm gonna do X, Y, Z. You already know before you say it or as you're saying it that you're not going to actually do it.
How do you establish it? How do you break that pattern? Is it a social circle that they keep? What do you do to get them to begin to do it?
There's a lot of things. Well, first we establish why they are where they are. Because we'll ask all 30 of the individuals that are really struggling. They're in a deep, dark place. How do you feel about yourself? I hate myself. I hate myself. Look at me. I'm a disappointment. You hear this common denominator among everything. So let's map how you got there. And literally, remember, they didn't start there. They started with their esteem, their confidence, their self-love. It was at a certain level, and then they made a promise and they broke that promise.
Yes.
And so your integrity and your dignity. And dignity is that esteem, it's that confidence, it's self-love. They are intertwined. When you break your integrity, your dignity takes a hit. And then they do it again. And then they do it again. And then what happens though, that after a while, after so many failures, you start making silent promises. Here's the catch. So it's like, hey, diet starts Monday, and everybody has been in that place where you tell your family and your friends, hey guys, it's gonna start Monday, I'm doing it this time. That's usually where most people start. And after so many times that they fail, Wednesday, all of a sudden, you're in the break room and you're housing a pizza, and your coworker's like, dude, I thought the diet started Monday. You're like, okay, I'm never gonna tell them when the diet starts Monday again. But integrity, personal integrity doesn't know the difference. Whether you say it out loud or whether you say it to yourself. And so they start making silent promises. Okay, diet starts Monday. And they'll say it to themselves, and sure enough, they break it, and every single time they go lower and lower and lower, and their belief and their confidence and their self-love and their dignity, it just takes a hit till they find themselves at 400 pounds or 500 pounds, or drinking. You start drinking at 10 a.m. You start taking your opiates, whatever it is, because the thing is, you feel so low about yourself that you've lost your belief in yourself. So in order to get out, all we have to, it's so simple. We reverse that process. And we say, it is our job. Now that we covered diet and exercise in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Now it's our job as your coaches. We're gonna get you out of the hole the same way you got in. And we're gonna teach you how to love yourself and how to believe in yourself and how to be absolutely unstoppable. And at the end of 1 year, 365 days, you're gonna do something extraordinary that the world their jaws are gonna drop when they see what you're able to do. And that's exactly what we do. We've done it 76 times. Crazy. And as humans, it's the power of the human mind and the human heart. And we say, look, here's where you are. You're in the lowest of low. You make one simple promise to yourself, and we let everybody select what that promise is. It might be 5 minutes on a treadmill. It might be drink an extra quart of water. It might be eat breakfast. I don't care if it's pancakes or oatmeal. It doesn't matter. Make a promise to yourself and keep that promise. And that is what we call their power promise.
Promise.
That power promise. It keeps them in the game of transformation. It keeps the transformation going.
It's the power promise, but the idea behind it is
I'm loving this.
You have to keep yourself winning. You have to keep
Momentum.
people winning. Yeah, you just said the next thing. It's like once you know you can win at something, when you make one small commitment, and for some of our people, believe it or not, it's as simple as brushing your teeth every day. Like, what is one thing you can do every single day that you know without a shadow of a doubt you can do forever and ever and ever? Do that. You check it off the list and you win, and you create something called integrity momentum. That's one of the phrases that we use quite often. And once you build that integrity momentum and you master your first power promise, again, say it's just brushing your teeth every day for 2 weeks. It seems so small, and it is so small, but when you know that's all you've committed to and you've successfully done it for 2 weeks, you feel like a champ. And you feel like, hey, if I can do that, what else can I do? So then it's like, all right, let's add one more thing, and you'll continue to build and build until you're, and the thing I love about this whole topic the most is you learn that the power of your word has your word has value. And when you speak something, you start to believe that you can actually make that happen in every area of your life, not just weight loss and transformation. It could be, hey, I want to build a multi-million-dollar home on the cliff in Three Arch Bay. I'm going to do that. Your word is so powerful because you know everything you say comes to fruition and you can manifest it.
I probably have not ever had something said, and I don't mean this disrespectful to any of the other unbelievable guests that I've had, but I don't think something's ever been said like the last 7-minute segment here that I agree with more. And everyone, I want to stay on this because it's so wonderful. Because you do it in the most dramatic, evidentiary way, which is someone loses hundreds of pounds. If you were just listening to this and you kind of started to hear it because it was entertaining, but you went, that doesn't apply to me because I don't have 250 pounds of extra weight. You have your addiction. Your addiction could be hiding from your dream and watching television. So the condition you show up to the show in could be, you've had this big dream and maybe you've shoved it so far back in the back of your mind now, because of these broken promises, that it's not 200 pounds of weight, it's not alcohol or drugs, it's not even maybe a bad relationship, it could be all those things. It could be just you're not living your true purpose. You've moved all the way away from it and you're lacking these promises. And if you started to make them, you're gonna get life momentum again. And I so agree with it being something initially that seems so basic and that you get credit for.
When you give your word to yourself, again, whether spoken or whether silent, following through with that, like it could be, I want to start a podcast. Or I want to create a product. Stop talking about it, because every time you say you're going to do it and you don't do it, you lose more belief in yourself. You're going to fall further and further into that rut and you won't be able to get out.
Well, we have the saying too, your word has to be more powerful than your reasons or your excuses why you cannot. Your word has to have power over your excuses.